All right. For those who don't know, this is my father. Peace. All right, so me and you were just talking about, before I get to asking questions, but it's like we were just talking about you had a business venture with would you say a partner of yours, a friend of yours, or a colleague,
Yeah.
right? And things did not go out as planned. Actually, you took a big, how would you say, a fall, a big loss, or
I mean, definitely took a hit, you know. I think in the end, so I'll tell you what, it's funny. I was telling you a story about that, and we could circle back to that in a minute. And here, our house that I've been renovating here the last maybe 2 months, 2.5 months, and what I do in real estate. So, one thing I've learned from the story we're talking about in that business venture and what I do in real estate, biggest lesson I'll tell you what is making sure that you have everything in writing, a contract, and both parties have an understanding of, hey, this is what we agreed upon, but there's not like having it in writing.
yeah,
Otherwise, some bad experiences here and working with some cash buyers. I'm sorry, some cash workers that work for cash and whatnot. And it came down to like, no, that's not what we agreed upon. Hold on, but you said this. You didn't tell me. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. You know,
yeah.
to avoid issues, should have been in writing. This is what we agreed upon. If this doesn't happen, what's the outcome? Same thing with that business deal. It's like, bro, that's not what we talked about, but we didn't have it in writing.
You guys didn't have, so this business deal, you guys
No,
did,
see, what ended up happening is just because, I considered him more of a friend, you know. He's not going to burn me. That's kind of like, that's my partner, that's my boy.
little judge of character.
Yeah, but then I have another business, one of my other business partner, Airbnb that we have in Florida, and him and I, when we got into that one, I had told him, hey, we're going to do this and that. Yeah, that's great. He said, well, let's put it in writing. And I told him, his name is Andres. I said, Andres, we don't need a contract, bro. I mean, I trust you. He goes, bro, contracts save friendships.
Oh wow.
We both know.
That's a clip right
Yeah.
there. That's
And that's it. And when he said that, I said, you bring up a good point. He goes, that way, there's never a question
a
about it.
misunderstanding.
Because if you wait, I mean, we can say this now and we'll remember it, a week, a month from now. But again, we've probably owned that for about easy 2-3 years. So now it's like, okay, wait, what was the agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could say really easy. Let's pull it up. Here it is.
Yeah.
So
The intricacies of things can get lost over time. And
yeah, not only that and also, again, I've had several not partnerships, but people I've done business with that were friends, and it comes down to a few times it's kind of like, hey, dude, you're not pulling your weight. Me, this guy, and this guy, we're sitting here banging out 8, 9, 10 hours, and you're working 4, 5, 6 hours, taking off to doing whatever. So then we end up butting heads, and then you're out of the picture. We don't want you. Well, hold on. Well, that wasn't I pitched in, and I thought da whatever. There's not like having it in writing though.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So big lessons.
yeah.
Here.
So what do you think is the main lesson you learned from? It's funny because you're talking about you're the one who signed on the dotted line with your credit, and that's kind of what kind of is taking the, I guess, would you say, like the hit.
Yeah.
Your credits was taking the hit because you signed it, thinking things were gonna go well, and then in my head popped that saying, it's like no risk, no reward, or something. But it's like you got to risk in order to get somewhere.
Yeah.
So you took that risk.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
and I mean, once I shared the entire plan with a friend of mine who's not in the business, and I just told him, I said, hey, it's a ride share. We're buying 12, 13 vehicles, and this is the way the cut's going to be. I'll get 20-25% out of it. I'm coming in with $0, and I said, my credit's gold, man. 815, 820, and right from the minute he was shaking his head, nope. He said, nope, I don't like it.
red flag.
He said, I don't like it. I'm gonna say, why, man? And I'm just like, but check this out. And I gave him the numbers, boom, boom, boom. At year 1, year 2, year 3, I said, I'll be making, 10, 15K a month for not doing anything. He said, no, but what if? And I'm just like, see, that's the thing, man. You live by the what ifs, but what if it does work?
Yeah.
And that's me. Let's go.
Yeah.
But it's part of business. But the thing is, you got to be smart about it. Sure, take some risks. And even one
calculated risk.
yeah, but one of the mentors that I have, you know, I mean, Pace, that's what he talks about. He just says, you know, even when you get into these partnerships with people, he tells us, don't jump into a partnership, especially with friends right from the gate. He calls it, you guys need to date. You guys want to be business partners? Great. Go do business 6, 8, 10 months. You like the way you guys work? You guys make a good team? Awesome. Let's form an LLC. Let's do this the right way.
Don't jump into it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think, again, once I was telling my partner, Chris, I told him, hey, this is it. He said, nope, nope, nope. And sure enough, things went sideways. I'm the one that took the biggest hit. It's I don't want to say it's only my credit. To some folks, that's important. Luckily, I don't live off of my credit. And that's what I told him. I said, Chris, worst thing, I've got to buy everything cash. Big deal. But it interfered whenever I was when I applied for this loan right here. That's when all the, everything from all the other loans from the vehicles was coming up. So I almost didn't get this loan. And then right after that, late payment number 1, late payment number 2 on the vehicles we got. And I was calling my boy, hey man, what's up? Oh yeah, we're working it out, man. We're working it out. And nothing. And finally I told him, I said, bro, I'm buying my forever spot. I'm buying a ranch. I need, this needs to happen. And I just kind of felt like he didn't completely ghost me, but he wasn't.
And it's funny too, because I'm thinking about it like, before you guys went on this venture and before it went bad, would he answer your calls often?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that. I was going to say he wasn't answering whenever I was going through the loan, but I remember when we were on not constant Zooms, but several Zooms, phone calls. Hey man, so hey, let's buy this car. Hey, let's do this. Yeah, bro, you're always going to be family. You're always going to...
Yeah.
Not like, bro, don't try to play me. You're not going to play me like that again. Business, I was thinking, shit, let's go, because, he thought he had a bulletproof plan because of somebody that was always successful in another big city in Texas. So they're like, dude, we're going to copy the blueprint.
Yeah, the blueprint
and he
works.
just said, she is my mentor for this right here. This works. We're going to buy same type of car. We're going to whatever. And again, he's got nothing to gain from it if it was just like, let me get Rudy to buy these cars and we're just going to ride the shit out of them for 2, 3, 4 months. I mean, there's nothing to benefit. So,
yeah.
I strongly agree that, and they're doing a lot of marketing on these vehicles. So
They're trying.
Sure, they're making a little bit of money. And are they pocketing? Are they pocketing it all? Are they keeping? That's the thing. I just got access to their system, so I'm able to see what's going where. But at this point, I just want to shut it down.
Yeah.
Plenty of banks trying to repossess. Take the car. That's fine.
Yeah.
I want it to be done with so I can go ahead and start rebuilding my credit. But the good thing is it's only my credit. My buddy Chris, he's just like, man, I don't know. He said, hey, I jumped into a venture with a buddy of mine. I ended up losing $150,000. So I'm very skeptical about jumping into any other type of venture, business venture. So you gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful, man.
So what do you think is like because it's like everything you go through, you take something from it. So it's like, what did you take from this, like this whole escapade of going in and trying? You took a shot, didn't work out.
I
so
mean,
what'd you gain from it?
I mean, it's not. I think just apply what I already knew and what some of my mentors had taught already. Again, kind of like, hey, make sure it's in writing. If I would have gone into further detail on all the what ifs, it's okay. Yeah, you take a risk. Business is a risk. But I think if I would have sat down before, gone over all the risks, okay, what if this happens, and taken that up with my current partner, and if I would have said, okay, what happens if this? Okay, cool, what's the outcome on this, at least I could have said, great, now let's put it in writing. I would have been a little more protected, but
yeah.
But again, I think the worst case for me is, again, I went in with just saying, okay, I'm going to risk my credit. So, but overall, I get it in writing. Get it in writing and make sure you cover all your bases.
So have you been you say you've been a big risk taker your whole life? or when did this start?
No,
or?
this was primarily for business. I mean, come on, I've only been doing the whole real estate deal for what, 5 years?
Uh-huh.
So all the whole entrepreneur stuff, that's fairly new to me. But I'm gonna tell you what, man. There's a lot of folks making a lot of money, and it comes down to doing it by taking a chance. I mean, shoot, sometimes the majority of folks that aren't familiar with any type of entrepreneurship, they see something online. Oh, they're trying to say it's a scam. It's a scam. It's you know. Sure, I'm sure a lot of it is, but there's some that it's legit. And so I'm just like, I'm okay. I'll invest in myself. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I've got into some mentorships. It's I paid 25,000, 35,000. I ended up paying a 5, a 7, a 10, and just about every single one is like, yep, I learned enough. Turn around, make some money. That's paid off. So, I mean, overall, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You just got to be cautious. And I think I was just a little careless on that, jumping right into it. But it was really the trust factor. It's like, man, that's my boy. That's my partner, man.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, just even thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I think, man, I'm trying to think of another saying. But it's like, yeah, you're real good friends with people. And then once money's involved, it changes the dynamics of everything.
Yeah.
People
Money,
act different with money.
For sure. I mean, money will change everything. What I've seen, especially like on certain deals, again, if we're going to the real estate deals and if we're just talking about, hey, man, why don't you help me make these calls or do whatever, and if we lock it up, I'll give you, 20% of it, whatever. And you mean it, but once like money really starts coming in, it's like, yo, I'm getting paid. Hey, man, well, you know what? You're not gonna get 20. I'm gonna have to pay you 10 because it just changes the person.
Yeah.
It really does.
Especially when the numbers are bigger.
Oh, yeah. You talking about big money? Pump the brakes. Yeah, it does. It does change people, man.
So ain't nothing like writing. That brings it back to that, huh?
Yeah.
Put it in writing.
No, for sure. Just it's almost like, don't be afraid to take a risk. Just be smart about it, But definitely get everything in writing. It's almost like they tell you read the fine print. Well, shoot, just write it up.
Are you a gambler?
I'm not.
Do you feel comfortable? Like, I'll go to casino, play a little bit, but
Not really.
not really.
Nah. Sometimes when I'm feeling it, yeah, but rarely. I'll go throw some blackjack.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times in Vegas, and I've always done it so where blackjack, it's enough to pay for the entire trip. It's been good. Here at the Palace, not so much, man.
No Palace.
They got me.
Vegas it is.
Yeah.
What's it called? So what? When did you retire?
I retired about 5 years ago.
So at 50? Oh yeah, and for those who don't, the whole reason behind this, my dad's birthday. He just turned 55, correct?
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, maybe we could learn a thing or two from him and hear some stories that he's got, and just all the years of living and what you've been through, and what you've learned from it. But yeah, that's the whole purpose of this. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
Once again, Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called? Oh yeah, so you retired at 50. And so before you retired, did you know what you wanted to do after you retired, or?
I did, and this is what I tell some of my folks that are, my people that are still working there, where I worked at, was we get a chance to retire fairly early if you have the age and if you have the time in. But I tell them, hey, don't be in such a hurry. Know what you want to do. There's folks who retire at 50 and thinking that, hey, well, I'm an avid fisherman, a golfer, whatever. I'll just do that, man. I paid my dues, da-da-da. Nah, after 2, 3, 4 months, you get bored out of your mind. So
Yeah.
I knew that, and I was thinking to myself, I think about a year before I retired, I just started dabbling into the real estate, a little by little by little, and got my first deal, made some cash, and I'm like, ooh, this is real. So yeah, once I left, I took like a little breather, a week, 2, 3 weeks, whatever it was that I was off, and I was right back into it. So yeah, I mean, and that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's
Real
where
estate.
it's at, yeah.
Oh gosh. So what I guess, what do you think influenced your career choice? Cause what did you go to school for?
I went to school for criminal justice, but I think at the time when I went to Fresno State, by my sophomore year, I actually wanted to work Fresno PD. My senior year, they had a hiring freeze, and at Fresno PD, and my cousin had just told me, dude, just apply with the state, man.
Yeah.
And I just went for it. I graduated a week later. I was off to the academy. So,
Do you think like do you have? I'm guessing you would remember kind of like when you were a kid. Do you know like, oh, I want to be this when I grow up?
no,
You didn't have any. You don't remember any of that?
nope. I don't know. I mean, I never had. I don't think we ever really put much thought into it. You know. I don't know. I think that's something you hear at school, but maybe we just never heard it from our
What's like
parents.
some of your like, I guess, as far back as you can go? Do you have any memories of like maybe your thought process of just? Because I always remember you saying, you know, it's like you guys were working the fields at a young age, and like at a young age, can you remember? It's like, man, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, or kind of.
No,
like,
I
I know
mean,
I
you
want
know,
to do school, or
And that's the hard part. I mean, that's what our older Mexican parents, and I hear it often, it's kind of like, great, you got a taste of the fields, good, at least you know what you don't want to do. Okay, cool. Hey, go to school, get an education, go to school, get an education. That I'm going to say that was the norm. It was the norm for my parents, you know, and I would say for a lot of maybe older Mexican parents from back in the day, because they didn't know any better. And again, it was, I like to think, it's not that my folks couldn't have told me any better. Not that they didn't want better for us, they didn't know any better.
yeah,
You know, it's kind of like, hey, mijo, go to school because you don't want to do this for the rest of your life. So that's about. But no, I never got to a point where, man, I don't want to do this, but I really want to be a doctor. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, what does a doctor do? You know what I'm saying? So no, but there was never a field that I kind of like, ooh, I like what they do. Like, that's awesome. You know, I want to do that. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. I just think a lot of maybe children kind of follow in the footsteps of whether if it's not their folks, it's someone within their family, like, oh shoot, my uncle was a firefighter or something like that. Or,
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what they associate to. Same thing with like, you know, like a team. Oh, well, my dad's a Raider. I'm a Raider fan. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just thinking, who did we have in our family that did what? I don't remember. My uncles, again, the majority of our, man, all our family, the older folks working the fields. So with us going to school, and again, when I left high school, I was going to open up a pizza place. I was a manager at a pizza place, and he's the one that was encouraging me. He's like, dude, I like the where you work. Back then it was $100,000 to get into the franchise. He said, I will cover that. I want you. Let's go open it. And I was supposed to go open a pizza place in the Atascadero. And he said, I will cover the $100K. He goes,
You run the show.
You run the show. And he said, after a year, if you like it, I'll give you a chance to buy me out, and it'll be your store. So that was pretty cool of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
but-
was how old were you when that was? That's, you said high
yeah,
school.
well, I was right out of high school, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Were you already like committed to school already? Like
No, that's just it. I took a break. I mean, I didn't go to school right out of high school because I was working high school. I got out. I was working at the pizza place, and that's when he pulled me aside and he wanted me to stay there. And it wasn't until we already went and looked at a piece of land in Atascadero, and it was supposed to be me and that dude's son. And his son said, man, Dad, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going back to school. And he's like, well, Rudy, it's all you. And I thought about it. I was like, man, I don't want to do this either. I'm out of here. So that was it.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Sorry,
Yeah.
buddy, this is you.
Yeah, but even then, I still didn't know what I wanted. But I'm just like, I know it's just because working in that restaurant, the restaurant business, you're there for, realistically as an owner, you're there from morning to night.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are. If you care about your store, I mean, you're in it all day, all night, unless you really trust someone. And again, he used us to get away for his vacations, for his breaks. But I'm thinking, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life. Nothing wrong with it, you know.
Yeah, but that's not it's not for me.
No.
But
no.
that reminds me too. Even like I think this dude Gary Vee, who I follow on social media, he's just like real like he's like, you're young, go try things.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, well, you tried it, and I know what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know. So So I guess from what point? So this is like fresh out of high school. You took a little break, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to college."
Yep. I'm gonna
And
go to
then-
school. I'll figure it out. Let's go.
And
I
then-
just knew that I didn't want to waste any more time. That was it.
Was there like any like friends or family that were going to college that kind of was like, "Oh, we're doing criminology. Fuck it, I'll do it too," or is it your sole choice?
No, I don't think anybody.
Or I
was
mean,
going
'cause
at
I
the
don't know
time.
what the list of things you can major in,
Yeah.
but you're just like, not that. Maybe I'll deal with the. Let's do criminology.
Yeah, and I really don't know how I jumped into the whole crim department. So I don't know. All
But
I
hey,
know is
But hey, it worked
yeah.
out.
I think first semester was all it was all. Good gosh, what do you call it when you're taking your basic courses, you know? And I think by second semester it's like, okay, I gotta choose a major, and I said I'm just gonna go crim. I went the criminology route. So then after that, I just started taking all the classes for that. Yeah, and I think by my sophomore year, I'm like, you know what? I think I can do Fresno PD. I think I want to work there. So, and it didn't work out. So, off with the state, which was good. It was a good thing.
So what do you think? Like a younger you, would you be proud of the route that you took?
Absolutely. I mean, even though it wasn't like a dream of mine, I mean,
what was
hey,
a dream of yours?
Well,
real
that's
quick?
just it. I mean,
I just kinda
yeah,
have one.
it wasn't just like I've always I achieved what I
Yeah.
But man, I didn't do so bad. I left at 50. I got a full pension, and I don't have to work another day in my life. And I mean, I still do, but yeah, I would say I did all right.
That's cool. I'm trying to think of more. So what's like some? I'm trying to get like what's some big lessons you've learned throughout your life? Like what are some things that it's like, man, I'll never forget that. This kind of, I don't know, I guess life-changing experiences, or do you have anything that just really stands out? Like I remember these points in my life. Just this is the lesson I grabbed from it.
No, I mean nothing major. Unfortunately, I lived I don't want to say a boring life, but ain't nothing exciting. I mean,
What's like what's something tough that you went through? What do you think was like the low point in your life?
let me see something. Something hard. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let me share a big regret that I have is, and even to this very day, I wish I would have gone to the service. I wish I would have.
I remember growing up, you always saying that. Yeah.
I wish, and even now, again, and I wish I would have gone to the Marines, and even at least done 4 years. That's a big regret. Then I didn't take it serious again when the ASVAB was coming around to test at school. It was like, whatever. But now, I probably wish I would have done it before I even went to college.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big regret of mine. And even now, and I think right around, what was I, 47? I was mid-40s, I don't know. But a doctor, God, what doctor was it? He was in his 50s, but he was telling me, Rudy, you could still go enlist. And I said, you can't enlist. There's an age limit. He goes, you can go enlist as a civil servant. And I looked into it. I made a couple of calls. They told me no. He said, you could. He goes, they'll take you in at 50 years old if you want. I looked, I called, and they said, no dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's something I wish I would have done.
Wow.
Yeah. All my respect to folks who served, who went out, raised their hand and went. I love it. I respect it. So.
What do you think you would have done if you would have enlisted?
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, I think I might have been a lifer in there. I got a couple of buddies that went, childhood friends. Cheto Hernandez, he's still in it. And I remember probably not now.
Yeah.
But he went in there. Him and my brother Rene would write letters to each other. And he's like, when is Rudy going to join my beloved Corps? Yeah, he was a hardcore Marine, but he was, yeah. And again, that's something I wish I would have done.
Yeah, that reminds me too, because like when you brought that up, I also remember saying things like that when I was younger. And I remember doing push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Love the Marine Corps. I don't know how old I was, but my dad had me in the house doing push-ups with that chant.
And that's one of my favorite movies. That's why.
It's from a movie.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's
the shit.
That's funny because I'm like, that's the one where there's the black dudes and the Chinese ladies, little hookers or whatever. We know me long time.
Yep.
He's
yep.
too big. She's on him.
Yeah.
Funny how your brain only remembers the dirty stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Full Metal Jacket, good movie. Oh man. So Marine Corps. That's one of the big regrets, huh?
Yep.
Life would have been very different.
And that's just
And
the thing.
who knows? Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
the thing. You know, I go back to again. You know, I mean, everything, every step that God's put, it's like I want this, I want that. Okay, great, but I got other plans for you. This is the route you're going to take. So who knows? Maybe if I would have gone to the Corps, I wouldn't have done all this. And again, where I ended up, not a bad place. So you know, working for the state, being able to retire so early, really good pay, you know, good benefits. So I'll never know what it is to be a Marine. Can't do it anymore.
Cool dude.
We can't.
Swing and a miss. Man,
That was it.
when did you when did that like fire inside of you like, oh, I want to be a Marine? Like when, what age, you know what age that was?
I think it was probably, because I was still working at the department, I want to say it was probably like in my 30s. Where I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
shoot. And I think I could have still done it. I mean, again, I don't even know what the criteria is or what you got to do. I mean, I think I could have taken a leave from work if I was going to go do that, but probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
But that was it. I couldn't have, if you weren't going to leave work, well, I don't know, maybe I could have done the reserves. You know, that's kind of like the part-timing it, I think, but either way.
So what was life like growing up? You grew up in Brownsville or?
Back
you
and
grew up in
forth,
Avenel?
Brownsville, Avenel, born in Santa Maria, and my folks are still going back and forth from Brownsville to Santa Maria. That's when we ended up in Avenel, and then still back and forth from Brownsville to, I think after the 6th grade, I left 6th grade over there in Brownsville, came over here, and that was it. So never went to school again. But we still go over there.
Do you
all
have
the
any
time.
like childhood memories that you remember? Like, oh man, I remember.
And from where? From Brownsville?
Yeah, or anything. Just
Um,
what life was like.
Life was really different, man. I'm telling you, everything that we did, we were talking about it not too long ago. Everything that we did over there as kids, 4th grade, 3rd grade, no, maybe 4th, 5th grade, man, we were up and down Brownsville, man. We were up and down, and you know, put your quarter in that bus, and you were gone downtown. And even now, I asked Grandma and Grandpa, I was like, why would you guys let us go? How old are you in the 4th grade and the 5th grade? I don't know, how old are you? 5, 10, hold on.
5.
So 10, 11, 12, I don't know, man.
9 to 11, something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
we were up and down, man, and again, it was good. We getting into some trouble here and there, or we could have, but we never got caught. But again, we were kids, so very different than what it is now, so. But it was good. I think if I would have stuck around, just about all the crew I used to hang with, kids from our neighborhood, they all ended up going to prison. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, that's another bullet I dodged there too.
Hello. Man, so what? 20s? In your 20s, that was a. How old were you when you graduated college?
I was, let me see, I was 25.
25. So your 20s was like kind of school,
School,
and then
26, yeah.
When you graduated
25,
college, you started working?
Started working, that's it.
and then so what? Your 30s was all work.
Yeah,
40s was all work.
yeah, all the way to
wow.
all the way to 50.
All the way to 50. So now that you're in your 50s, retired, and still got to do something with your
Yeah.
time, huh? Just bought a new property. You're forever home.
That's it. Working on it. I keep saying 2 more weeks, and we're getting closer. But this is it.
What do you think? What are your 50s like? What are your kind of plans for these next? It's like, hey, where's your mindset at right now? You know.
You know, it goes up and down because there's part of me that just says, you know what, I do what I want when I want it. I'm almost on cruise control. But then there's a side of me that says, nah, man, you get after it. Come on, there's more. There's more. Like even last night, I wrote down a list of goals. I'm like, I'm going to accomplish this right here.
Yeah.
Next 3 to 5 years. I'm already thinking, I'm paying this off. I'm building a barn back there. I'm doing, and I could do it all here because this is where all our family gathers, and realistically for me, I mean, that's everything. You know, I mean, that's it. Being able to gather with family, take trips that we want to do it again with family, not have to worry. But I won't do it again. Money isn't everything. I was talking to Grandpa about that the other day. I said, we're not materialistic people. I don't have to have a bigger ranch. And it's nice, but it just comes down to the people you're with. So I said, I will push, I will run circles around most folks, let's go. But I won't do it if it's gonna cost me my health, my sanity. I'm just like, here last year we were crushing it. We were locking deals up, but we were working, 10, 11-hour days, and it just kind of took the fun out of it. It got overwhelming. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't need the money. Thank God I don't need the money, but it's great. We were killing it, but it's kind of like, it's not worth it. And it wasn't. So now it's kind of like, I got a little boost right now, and I'm going to go for it. And I think once I accomplish these goals in the next, my longer term goals, 3 to 5 years, that's it, man. I'm cruising. No mas.
All right, what was I like growing up?
What were you like growing up? Easy, right? I mean, man, see, we should have popped in the home videos. You could have seen. What were you like growing up, Rich? Easy.
I don't fucking know.
You fighting with your brother, kid stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of sports, right? Little football, little wrestling. From what I remember, when you did go to school, I mean, it wasn't bad grades, so
Yeah, not too bad.
yeah.
I remember, I can't remember what brought it up in my head, but it's like I remember I have that memory of when I think you influenced me to do wrestling in school because you did wrestling. I remember you showing me you had like home videos of you fucking wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember you bought a mat. We had a mat in the garage.
That's right.
Remember that?
We had the full mat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a memory that I have. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And then growing up and then starting to act out. And I think we talked about that before. And it's just like, I feel like, all kids get to that age.
Yeah.
So you don't want to listen to your parents, But then I can't remember who I was talking about it with. But then I just feel like it's like been full circle. I feel like me and you are very close now. I don't know. I like talking to you. And here we are sharing this talk. And
Yeah.
I see, and it's like all those things. It's funny. It's like you see, it's like, oh, all those things my dad was telling me. I should have listened.
Yeah. No, I remember. It's funny you say that. I mean, your brother, and I don't know when it was. 2, 3, 4 years ago or whatever. But he had said the same thing. He's like, "Gosh, Dad." Like, not that he didn't want to admit it, but he was just saying, "Man, yeah, all those things you told me." He goes, "You were right.
Yeah.
You were right." And again, that's just a parent. You want the best for your kids. But again, every youngster goes through. It's like, man, you think it's like you know everything. You don't mean to be a little turd, but it's just kind of like, but you don't know, Dad. You don't know, Mom. I know.
Yeah.
I used to say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But
so you even had that? Do you remember like that age where you didn't want to? Do you have something like that?
No, unfortunately, here's the thing, man. Our parents were very lenient with us. Again, we used to. I mean, when our dad was firm when it came down to like, hey, I said no is no, But if it was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna go over there, yeah. And again, they were just busy working. My mom getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make my dad's lunch so he can leave by 4. He'd come back by 5, 6 o'clock, eat dinner, shower, go to sleep, routine. So they didn't really.
You guys get home safe, huh?
That was it. So, yeah.
Oh man. Gosh, I had another question about something. We were just talking about, I guess, me growing up, the rebellion. Oh, but yeah, I think I was just saying. Oh, I was thinking about how it's like I think this is at the point to maybe, when I started acting out or whatever. I know that was like in high school, but then I think fresh out of high school, still living with you, and still like 1 foot down a bad path, and then still under your roof, so still having to, I guess, kind of listen to some sort of authority. But then I remember you trying to get me a job with the state, and then I ended up going to jail for my first time, and I was trying to do
that was out of high school.
that was out of high school. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
still fresh out of high school, but then you were trying to get me a job for the state, and it was just like custodian or something.
Yeah.
I went and took the little quiz or something.
Yeah.
Fucking pass with flying colors. Waiting on the response, and then, I don't know. Then I went to jail, and I remember coming home, and I had fucking a
Yeah.
stack of job offers.
They were the job inquiries that they were sending you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, do you want to apply? We'll take you. And I probably still could have even tried, but I don't know. At that point in my life, I was just like, oh no, I went to jail now. They're not gonna hire me. I'm working for the state. They're not gonna hire me. And then, but I don't know. That makes me wonder. It's like, dang, I wonder where my life would have been that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, still, it's like, I guess it's cliche, living with no regrets. But it's like, hey, I am where I'm at today, and I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't walk
Yeah.
this path. But I like being where I'm at. Obviously I did take a path that didn't work out too well. A couple of prison terms and choosing this life or whatever. But it's like, even being the man that I am now, like, I have an influence over people. The music came out of nowhere, but it's like this role that I'm taking now is just trying to help others, and I'm speaking to a crowd that listens to me, and I'm just trying to say, hey, like, you can do good still. And right now, it's like I've been, all my money's legit. That's something that I, in the past wasn't able to say. And so it's like, it feels really good, and trying to help others feels good. And so, hey, who knows? I mean, if I would have went the other route, I guess, who knows? I may have just been still custodian right now, pushing a broom. Hey, I would have had a good money, but
You would have moved
benefits.
up the ladder, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
it.
who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah.
What else you got?
I don't know. Should we finish this off? You got something
That's
to
it.
tell the people? It's 55 years of living. Here you stand, and what's your message for the world?
I'll tell you what. It's funny because I was thinking about this the other day that these things, like, say for example, these aren't some of the things that our parents used to say to us directly, but you've heard them somewhere along the lines. Something, say, for example, anything, if you can think it, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, if you can think it, you can achieve it. You can be anybody you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. And now, where I'm at now, all that stuff is so true. It really, really is. And again, if you don't have whether a mom or a dad or a family member to tell you that, to encourage you, is doable. But you need somebody. Say, for example, you're influencing people. I only wish I had somebody that says, yo, right here, I need help. I want to learn. I want to do. Man, come on over. I'd like to take on a whole Zoom and say, this is what you, not that I'm a pro at it, I'm a master, but I don't know. I like to think life isn't as hard as people make it out to be. Now, that doesn't mean, hey, life is a walk in the park, but man, if you're ready to roll your sleeves up and just make a good life for yourself, I got a lot of these, friends, associates of mine who are millionaires, billionaires, and they all say the same thing. They all say, it's like, dude, I'm no different than you, man. If I could do it, you could do it. And they mean it. It's like, dude, I'm not even a smart guy. I'm really not, But I tell you what I am. I'm persistent, and I'm going to outwork everybody, and I'm going to get up. And it's not always working longer hours, working harder, but it's, making the right connections, whatever they do. But it's kind of like, oh my gosh, all that stuff is really true. It's kind of like, hey, what don't you like about yourself? Change it. Stop complaining. Stop saying, you got dealt a bad hand. Oh, poor me, poor me. Well, that's easy for you to say. Well, you have a mom and a dad. And I'm not saying that doesn't play a role, that doesn't affect you. It makes it a little harder for you, but it's kind of like, dude, you can do it, man. Anybody could do it. And I don't know. Maybe I never saw that until I got into this field that I'm in right now. But yeah, I think the thing is, man, I don't care where you're at in life, man. Find the good in it, and find someone that can help you out. Find someone that's doing what you want to do, and connect with that person, man. There's always people out there willing to help. So, absolutely, man.
There it is. You know who's gonna love this interview?
Who's that?
Yves Barrera.
Yves!
Cold dude.
That's one guy right
All
there.
right, pa. Love you.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
I love you too, son. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.